Hi there, and welcome to The Daily Gardener, an almanac of garden history, literature, and small botanical joys. I'm Jennifer Ebling, and today is August 4th. You know what's funny about August? It's the month when the garden starts calling our bluff. Back in April, we're full of confidence. We've got plans, systems, shortcuts, and we make little promises to ourselves. But then August arrives, and it has a way of exposing every single thing that isn't true. I told myself in April, I don't need to dig up that old drip line. It'll probably work just fine. I can go another year with it just the way it is. Turns out, drip line problems are the worst. Scratch that. Anything irrigation. Then there was 36 inches apart. That can't be right. By August, I was standing there looking at two enormous plants trying to take up the same space. It wasn't a typo. Every gardener has their own list, and it usually includes this one. The neighbors are going to love all this extra zucchini or tomatoes or cucumbers. In reality, they did not. And by September, they stop answering the door when they see me on the Ring camera with another basket of garden goodies. But to this day, my husband's favorite garden lie that I often say is, I'll just pull one weed, which somehow has a way of becoming an entire afternoon. Gardens are wonderful at teaching us things, mostly humility, and that's all right. Because every August, we get another chance to laugh at the gardener we were in April. And somehow, by next spring, we'll believe in ourselves all over again. Here's today's garden history. It was on this day in 1792 that the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley was born in Sussex, England. He lasted less than a year at university after he wrote a pamphlet called The Necessity of Atheism, and then mailed it to leaders at Oxford, inviting them to debate him. They expelled him instead. He was 18, and he'd brought embarrassment to his family, which made his father cut him off. He spent the rest of his short life writing poems where flowers, wind, and gardens behaved almost like people. In 1820, Shelley wrote The Sensitive Plant, one of the great garden poems. It begins, "A sensitive plant in a garden grew, and the young winds fed it with silver dew. And it opened its fan-like leaves to the light, and closed them beneath the kisses of the night." 2 years later, Shelley drowned in a storm off the coast of Italy. He was 29. Today, nearly every gardener has heard another line he wrote. "If winter comes, can spring be far behind?" And it was on this day in 1841 that the naturalist William Henry Hudson was born in the Argentine pampas. He spent his boyhood on horseback, watching birds, until a fever damaged his heart. In 1874, he arrived in England with almost nothing and slept in Hyde Park. He wrote his way out of poverty. One novel, Green Mansions, is about a girl in a South American forest who could talk to birds. He said, "Unless the soul goes out to meet what we see, we do not see it. Nothing do we see. Not a beetle, not a blade of grass." And it was on this day in 1913 that the American poet Robert Hayden was born in Detroit. His parents separated before he was born, and he was raised by neighbors. In the early 1970s, he and his wife Irma, a pianist, spent a week house-sitting in Seattle. Almost as an afterthought, their friends mentioned their night-blooming cereus was about to flower. After a year of waiting, a bloom happens in a single night, and by morning it's gone. Robert and Irma divided the nights. One slept, the other kept watch, until in the dark, the flower finally opened. The white petals shone by lamplight, and fragrance filled the room. Robert wrote a poem about it called The Night Blooming Cereus. It ends with the two of them, just he and Irma, staring at the blossom. He said, "We spoke in whispers when we spoke at all." It's time to grow that garden library with today's book, Adventures in Eden by Carolyn Mullet. Working Gardens and Estates Week continues today, and today's book takes you somewhere most visitors never get to go. Carolyn Mullet spent more than 30 years designing gardens around D.C., and then she started Carrick's Tours in 2015 and began taking people to see private gardens all over Europe. She said gardens are not given enough credit for the beauty they bring. And she meant it, both for the owners who live with them and for the visitors who only get to walk through them. Adventures in Eden visits 50 gardens, Belgium to Ireland, Scandinavia to Wales, and all the gardens are normally closed to visitors. One of them is Broughton Range in Oxfordshire, designed by Tom Stewart Smith. He describes what he was after in one line: one overall story with a series of subplots, not a series of episodes. The lowest terrace there holds a parterre of velvety rounded boxwood in what looks like an abstract pattern. It isn't. It's based on the actual cell structure of leaves from the hedgerows outside the garden wall. Then there's Brian's Ground in Herefordshire, a formal garden with a generous dash of wildness, where the owners set a piece of slate into the kitchen garden wall, inscribed with a line from the 12th night. In delay, there lies no plenty. But there's plenty to see in Carolyn's book, Adventures in Eden. 50 gardens, 50 stories, altogether one extraordinary armchair tour of European gardens. And finally, here's something sweet to ignite the little botanic spark in your heart. It was on this day in 1886 that the American botanist Francis Pennell was born on his family's Quaker farm in Wawa, Pennsylvania, about 20 miles outside Philadelphia. As a boy, his family thought he was delicate, so he was spared the heavy chores his brothers were given. And he was warned so often not to get his feet wet that he developed a lifelong fear of water. He was hopeless with machinery, too. But he loved plants, and while he was still a schoolboy, he took a job in the herbarium at the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia. Later, when his department head suggested the snapdragon family for his dissertation, Francis took the suggestion and never put it down. His wife often went with him on collecting trips. She drove the mountain roads while Francis watched for blooms from the snapdragon family: foxgloves, mullins, toadflax. He specialized in them all for the next 4 decades. At 38, he went much further to see them, to South America, where he spent 7 months collecting in Peru and Chile. His wife came along as a delegate from Bryn Mawr College to the Scientific Congress in Lima, and his niece Sarah tagged along as well. The three of them crossed 2 ranges of the Andes on muleback, traveling 9 days into a forest no scientist had ever collected in. Near Arequipa, They found plants growing in ground that can go years without a single drop of rain. Little tiny annuals whose seeds rest in the dust, waiting for the 1 year when rain finally comes. And on the high tableland by Lake Titicaca, the plants were the most dwarfed he'd ever seen. By the time he came home to New York in July of 1925, he'd gathered over 10,000 specimens. Then, in 1948, in his 60s, after a heart attack, he got on a boat and returned to Peru. That same year, he published a paper that examined why so many Quakers became botanists. He said, "The world of nature was God's world, and what a Quaker botanist felt in it was awe. At how vast it was, at how many kind things were in it, and at the pleasure of every single new specimen they found." On the first Sunday of February in 1952, Francis attended a Quaker meeting for worship a few miles from the farm where he was born. He sat in silence beside friends, a Quaker tradition over 300 years old. And there in the quiet, he left this world. He was 65. That was Francis Pennell, born on this day in 1886. His book on the snapdragons of the American West was left unfinished, but he got the chance to name about half of the snapdragons he carried down out of the Andes. Today's book was Adventures in Eden by Carolyn Mullet. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener, and remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day.